hope you are having an amazing Sunday afternoon. It has been a very, very busy morning for me. I actually made another 7 liters of hot sauce today, which was awesome. I've got the patriotic red, white, and blue up. We finally have a decision now on who is the president-elect. So let me just share this as well on Twitter as well. There we go. All right, done. Wow, I just figured out this super easy way to do it. So now you guys will all have the live stream. So what do you think? I'm going to reach out to Brad Mondo. Yeah, I tried to change my hair and make it more of an intense red, and I sort of went eggplant. So gotta embrace change, right? It's the red and the blue combined. You know, it was such a struggle with the red side and the blue side in the US. I went purple. So I just lost my screen on the other computer. Gotta love that. All right. Okay, guys. So let me just pull up the chat somewhere else. My kids must have been messing in my room. Let me see if I can pull it up on the other. If I just take this out. No, that's not it. Take this out, plug this back in. Sorry about that, guys. There we go. I have it on the other computer. All right, cool. Hey, Samuel. Buongiorno. Gagan. Hello, Terry. Oh, thank you. Yeah, you guys like the background? Yeah, it's fun. Also, I need to move this over. Okay, now I have the screen up again so I can put it right up above. So, exciting news as well. Starting a podcast, and I'm very excited. We will be sharing some of the audio from my midday live stream talking about the market. We're going to be adding that into it, as well as interviews. So I do have some amazing people lined up, traders, female traders. So somewhat similar to my book, FMJ, Trust, Transition, and Trade, which will have a lot of female traders that I will be interviewing just to try to really help encourage other female traders to get into the industry. Not that there aren't any, but there's just not as many out there. It tends to be more of a male-dominated field, so trying to equalize the playing field. All right, let's bring up the stocks and let's go ahead and get into them. All right, just waiting for it to load on my other screen here. Hello, Mark. Yeah, this color's a little dark for me. I'm still getting used to it, to be honest. It really shocked me. All right, it is just loading in the background over here. I don't know why it's taking so long. And in the meantime, while that's loading, I will pull up the watch list so you guys can see that. So here is my watch list for the week. Let me pull background away so that it's just me and the charts. And now, aha, interesting. Let me log in over here. Let me just grab this, pull it up here, and I'll log in. All right, so I do grab my information for my floats from the Wall Street Journal there. So on my list, we have Krone, ACB, Resi, Laser, GLUU, Sony, WAB, Twilio, ATVI, TRP, and my potential swings, WBA, Overstock, Tile, SIG, and Oxford. So let's see if this signed me in. Yes. All right, cool. So now I can bring this back. All right. So it is doing something a little funky with the background. Let me just go to dark color theme. Done. Now that should make it, yes. Okay. Should make it so everything is, I'll mess around with the settings later. But for now, look at ACB. Amazing, amazing move. Now, guess what? If you guys do not already know, there was some dark pool activity. So if you guys want to learn about the dark pools, come over to literally thedarkpools.com. And in the training pit, that is where I teach twice a week. Yes, Mark is saying, watch out for fake profiles on Twitter. It happens on Twitter, on Instagram. I have yet to see it on Facebook, but it might be there as well. So Twitter is no longer verifying accounts, so there's no way for me to get verified. So if you see a profile that is not me, please let me know. One of the key things to look at is the date of joining. Obviously, I joined back in 2015. If it says anything after that, it's a fake account. Please report it, and please send me a screenshot so that I can work on reporting it and putting it out there that these are fake scammers. Unfortunately, I've tried to get verified and they are not verifying people right now. So there's only so much I can do. Yeah, the name. You know what? Unfortunately, Mark, it literally happens once every 2 weeks. So it's not fun, but it's something I've been dealing with for years, unfortunately. It comes with the territory of being out there on social media. All right, so let's add my list on right here. Yeah, they always make it try to look the same, but it's slightly different, or a dash or an underscore or a misspelling, and they try to copy images and posts. They retweet my real posts. It's usually not the real posts themselves. Thank you for being so concerned, Mark. I appreciate that. Oh, I have to tell you guys, it was really funny. I had a hater on one of my YouTube videos, and this is what I like to do with haters and trolls, is I turn around, call them out, and then say, you know what? I wish your life gets better. I wish you nothing but health, wealth, and happiness, because being kind is the best thing. And they can't really refute back when you're kind to them. All right, so let's go ahead and look at Crone. So we've got a 45-minute chart over here on the left. And actually, let's look at the SPY first off. Let me turn this down. So we have a bit of an island here on the, let me turn off the sound. Hey, Google, stop. All right. So we have the, let's see if I go to default. See if I can load my default settings here so that it's not red and green, because this frustrates me. Any event, we have this island gap right here. You can see when we gapped up in the past, what happened? Well, in about 3 days, we were down and we were closing those gaps. Every time that we have the gap up, it looks like we have downward price action after that. In general, Democrats tend not to be as strong for the market as Republicans. Was just talking to my neighbor about this actually this morning, that Republican presidents tend to bring more wealth into the market, stimulus, everything like that. It looks potentially as if we have 2 days of positioning, and we could do one of two things. We could break above 352, surge higher, and come up, potentially test the high of 358. We have a doji day here on Friday. Oh, okay. Hey, Google, continue. Hey, Google. Continue. I like it too, Samuel, so I'll put it back on unless you guys say it's frustrating. And I started playing around with Brian Shannon's anchored VWAP from the open candle from the day prior. So it's pretty cool to see what was our low. It was really that anchored volume weighted average price from the day prior. Now we do have one here, which if I stretch it back, probably going to be lower right here. Yeah, so it's roughly 347.69, and we could find a pullback down here, right? That would be normal if we pulled back and then we surged higher. Actually 340.49. That 3400 level is a big support level on the SPX, the ES minis. So pulling all the way back down wouldn't be abnormal, and then they surge higher. Also the Qs as well. We have that same gap. Makes me want to have to double click on these for some reason. Same scenario. Look at how we seem to have 2 days. This could be potential positioning, right? We opened lower, surged higher, tested, but we've been hitting this resistance up here. Now, are we going to pull back and drop down lower? We might. We have the candlestick that came down here and then surged up higher. So maybe we'll come back down over to 283 for the Qs. Oh yeah, Mark. So I'm going to tell you guys as well. I will put it in the chat as well, the link for you guys. Yes, I do represent them as an affiliate. Full disclosure there. Why not, right? For things that I love to trade, I like to recommend them. So Trendspider is an amazing software, and they have some great things with showing after earnings what will happen, showing what certain analysts say what will happen, showing the volume for the volume weighted, not volume weighted average price. Actually, they do have that as well, but they also have their special raindrop candlesticks, which is showing the VWAP in the candlestick. And you can do that on an even time frame. So any time frame that you use that has at least a multiple, I think it's a multiple of 4 that they have it broken down into. They just have so many new attributes, and they're having a sale from now until Black Friday. Today's savings is 63%. Yesterday was 64%, and Friday was 65%. So if you sign up now, you're going to save more than if you wait a week and a half, because you lose a percentage of saving every single day. So it's amazing software. I really like it for charting. In fact, here, let's go to trendspider.com. And you can see, save 63% off now. So when we log in, we can look at the S&P 500. All right, great. Now, here's what's really cool. You can peg a certain date. All right, we want to go from the low on the 30th to today's most recent price action. This gives you the point of control, this green line, which is the point of control. That's where the most volume was traded over that time frame. Coincidence that's up at the top? That's pretty interesting, right? Maybe a couple days ago, it was all the way down here. Look at that. It's 6.24 million, or 6.246 million. I wonder if you could change the properties settings for, the values to be yellow. That might show up a little bit better. There we go. So we can see, okay, so right here, now maybe if we come down here, which is also the 4 EMA on our daily chart, you have multiple time frames that you can overlap. They have a scanner, they have a strategy tester, they have so many different things that you can add on here. They have a heat map, which will show you the volume as well in heat map form. My computer's running really slow. I think there's something running in the background today. Because why isn't it showing up? Heat map horizontal. Let's see. Maybe, I have no idea why it's not showing up. Any event. I think that's something in my computer. It's not functioning properly. Okay, so amazing, amazing stuff. If we go back further, you can scroll backwards. We could even select this. All right, let's go back here and let's stretch it back to this high. Well, the point of control is right here for 12.9 million, roughly 345. We'll call it 344.75. Also this trend line, coincidentally. Well, if we happen to break below 344.75, get ready to wear your bear hat, right? Now, let's go over and look to that 45-minute chart and see if that is my 425 for the SPY. Hi, Asif. Thank you for that email. All right. So if we go and we look at the 425, look at that, 340.13, so 344.75. It's pretty cool, right? We can see that's where the most volume has been traded ever since October 12th. And if we go below that, watch out, we will definitely be going lower, right? Let's also look at the Qs. And let's check out the volume there as well. So let's look. First, we'll do it from the high here, all the way over. All right, so the highest volume is actually right here. Roughly a price of 294.09. Right now we're above that. Let's go backwards a little bit and let's move this to down here from the low. Still all the way up here. So the volume weighted average price is down here, 282, but the most volume that was traded, 293.88 since the past week, 7 trading days. So it's kind of cool to see, all right, look, if we are setting up a double top, also, when we look at the SPY and the Qs, right? On our daily charts, we're setting lower highs. This is not typically indicative of a bull market, right? Or an upward trend. An upward trend, you're setting higher highs and lower lows. Here we set a high, a low, a high, a low. It's a bit of a wedge that we're forming now. If we draw this over here, right? It's not locked. I want to adjust it. All right. I feel like they've made an adjustment and I can't, whatever. So I would want to move it up here. And right now we're inside this triangle. So maybe this will be their positioning for further move. Remember, I have mentioned that with seasonality, we will tend to drop down that third week of November for an election year. So, hey, we know who's president-elect now. Is that going to be good for the market? Potentially. For oil and things like that, maybe not. Also on Apple. Let's check out Apple over here. Apple is one definitely to watch, as it will always affect the market. When we see what's going on with Apple, then we know that there is going to be a big move, as this is number 1 or number 2 in the SPY or the Qs. Here's our point of control right up here, 7 million. And any coincidence that this is roughly at the top at 118, let's stretch this back up over here, because we did have a big downward trend too. Okay, so we're down here at 114.64 and we had 118. If we drop down below, we'll call it right here, below 117.80, potential target down here at 114.50. Let's also check out Tesla. It's cool to see the software, right, in action. If you guys have a stock you want me to pull up on Trendspider as well, let me know. I'd be happy to pull it up as well to show you guys. All right, so from here over, so our point of control and our volume weighted average price are pretty much the same. So the most has been traded down here at 422. Yeah, I'll look at it. That's it. My pleasure. And then if we come down here, it's still roughly the same area at 422. So that looks like a strong support or resistance. Green stocks. Yes, Samuel. The green energy stocks, the cannabis stocks. Yeah, you know what though? Sometimes it can be buy the rumor and sell the news. That's it. So will it be that sort of scenario? All right, let's look at Microsoft on here too. For that's it. Yeah, John, I was seeing with Novavax. Novavax, they are making progress. However, have you looked at their pipeline to see if they have passed any vaccines? You have to look at that stuff, right? Yeah, we'll look at that. Yes, guys. Okay. We'll get there. So for Microsoft, the biggest volume has been, in the past 7 days, has been up above, right? Are you seeing a pattern? Apple, it was up above. Microsoft, it was up above. SPY, it was up above. Qs, it was up above. Let's check Google for fun, too. I know you guys didn't put it out there, but I want to see what's going on with Google and where the most volume is over the past 7 days. To be fair. All right. So for Google, it's actually lower. So Google might be continuing to go higher. You know what? I'm not sure that's it. Sometimes when you see all of that volume up at the top, sometimes it is the exact opposite. Just pay attention if we go lower, right? If we go lower and you know that that's where all the volume was for the past 2 days, the biggest volume, many times, that's it. Do you know about the dark pool at all? And, okay, so let's go and look at Nvidia, or NVAX now, because that's the top one on my list here now from John. So let's go back, John. Let's go back a little bit. No. Okay, that's it. So here's what you need to know about the dark pool. These big hedge fund traders and big money, if they want to place million share trades, they are not going to do it on your regular level 2. They hide their order to get millions of shares filled. Well, what's going to happen? Once it's filled, then that's when all the volume comes in. It usually will stall at that price action. And if it goes above there, that price action was buying. If it goes below, whatever trade you see, it was selling. So when we know that the big volume for Microsoft, Apple, SPY, and Qs was up above, if we go above all of that, and we're looking at the past 7 days, right? So if we say, well, we've gapped up 3 days in a row, we have this island gap above us, and if we start to go down, well, they could quickly take it down and fill those gaps back down to roughly midline or 61% Fibonacci's, if you want to throw that out there. And then they could rip it back up higher. But just because it's at the top does not mean it was selling. It could be buying. We have to wait and follow the price action. So if it goes above the highs from Thursday and Friday, likely buying. If it goes below the low for that island gap to the downside, likely selling. Does that make sense? All right, so NVAX over here. It looks like an upside down head and shoulders to me, John. Right? Is that John? Yeah. John, it looks like an upside down head and shoulders. Shoulder, head, shoulder, right here. With the point of control right here, which is really a support on that right shoulder. So this might be primed to skyrocket higher. All right, let's look at Nvidia. So thank you, Mark, for asking me to talk about this. So you guys can see, if you want to try it out, you could try it out for a month. I think they will let you try it out for a week, or even, I'm not sure, you could email them. They're an awesome team. We've got Jake there, we've got Dan, also newer gentleman, I forget his name. For Nvidia, it looks like our volume was up here. We are up above it for right now. The strongest volume was really on Thursday's price action at roughly 564.08. So if we continue to the upside, bullish on that one. If we break down below over here, below 550, I would say bear hat. Okay. Green stocks, Afria. Yeah, Afria, Mo, all of those with cannabis likely being stronger. I mean, you can see right here on Afria, where did it go recently? And what happened to the whole cannabis sector? Well, they all shot up like crazy. Likely with Biden. Right here, 550 is looking fairly strong. We also have a bit of a downward trend right here. If we break above 625, I'd say this one's going to probably likely be going higher. Let's go over here to APHA. Why is this in view mode only? I don't want it in view mode only. Maybe that's what's going on. What's going on over here? They did something to my... Autosave, rename, help center. All right, guys, I have no idea what's going on with this. Why it's all wonky. But it seems like if I can put it over here, then I can view it. And I don't know how to turn this off. Right click, left click. Something happened to it. All right, so Afria, yeah, look, it's double topped up here. Like I said, 625, likely be going higher. And we should, definitely. 45-minute chart over here, 644. And every time that it's sold there, it's sold off. So we had selling power on Friday as well. All right, I'm missing some stuff going on. All right. Hello, Arky. Good afternoon. Okay. So let's go to DraftKings. Let's look at DKNG. Since this wants to work better than my trading view today, something happened. That's all right. That's why it's also good to have more than one charting software. All right, so our point of control is up here at the top. DraftKings has been on that downward spiral as well with the coronavirus outbreak, with the, what's it called, with all the players. You see on our daily, steep decline, have earnings coming up right here at the 21 EMA. Will this skyrocket up with earnings or not? So again, we had the highest volume right here is up above at the moment over the past 7 days, where we were bouncing off of one of my favorites. This EMA is a 161 right here. So it's pretty cool to see that it's bouncing off of there, but it might be setting up for an upside down head and shoulders, shoulder, head. We might pull back down a little bit, back down to the VWAP here or this trend line, and then continue higher and surge above 43.50. Excuse me. All right, GDX. Let's look at GDX for Leslie. So GDX, all of the gold sector and silver have been doing really well. So I'm actually going to look from all the way back here, because if we see, and we'll also look at silver as well. So here's that low. The point of control. And you see shoulder, head, shoulder, boom, up we go. Let's look at silver as well. And we'll go from back here. It's really surging higher. All right, right here, just at that point, just before breaking out, a lot of volume came into it. So that could have been shorts. And you see back here, we had, you can draw multiple ones of these. Whoops, undo. I can, hold on, let's bring this over here. All right, and we'll move this all the way back to this peak. All right, so we had big volume here, and we're above all that volume. So that would lead me to believe, that's it? What would that lead me to believe? Because we are we are above all of that volume. Exactly. You guys like this today? Yeah, I put it on a license-free channel. So, correct, that's it. Because it works. That's why I like it, because it works. All right. COMM and NEO and AMD, and then we'll go back. Okay, COMM, and this is just looking at the volume for the past 7 trading days, basically. So it's all the way down here. So that's encouraging for CommScope. Don't know anything about this stock, but it's bullish above right now over the past 7 days. Let's stretch this out and go all the way back here and see. Oh, we're still above all that volume. You can tell though, it topped out right here. It pretty much had a double top or triple top day, and then it came down, came up, and now it's tested it pre-market again on the 6th, but we're still above it. So hey, if we can stay above roughly 958, potential move to the upside. That $10 mark, obviously that round number in people's heads would also be a barrier, right? People would probably want to sell at $10. NEO, I am weary about. If you guys have not seen it, definitely check it out. The China Hustle on Netflix makes me really weary to hold things long term. So any wonder you guys see this too? I mean, this is almost more confirmation. When you see it on the chart, yes, a chart is a visual depiction of volume of who is winning, the buyers or the sellers, right? Well, Here we have a lot of volume traded. The most volume that's been traded over the past 24 days was right down here at 27.82. Well, we're above that definitely by 14 points. So let's bring it back to where we broke out from there. 8 days, aha, look at where the volume lies now, all the way up at the top. So I would be extra cautious. Hey, if it breaks below 37, potential move to the downside there because all of the volume over the past 7 days has been up here. Does that make sense, guys? Yeah, my pleasure. Okay, the last one on here, AMD, and then we'll go back to my list and we'll build the list for Crone and ACB and everything like that. We totally got off subject today, but that's cool. It's awesome, right? AMD, I don't know where Kyle is today, but Kyle is a fan of AMD. And right now, point of control for the past 4 days is up here at 82.55. Let's back it up a little bit and see. I need to figure out how events. Let me see if I can turn on earnings. Does it have earnings right there? And let me refresh this. All right. So I believe we had earnings back here. So let me pull this and we'll adjust it. I have to click on this white dashed line for it to wake up, I believe. Maybe I have to do this. Oh. And stretch this over. All right, so the biggest volume is down here, down below, really since earnings. So that's encouraging that this would continue to move to the upside, for sure. Let's remove this one. All right. You need more thumbs up. Thanks, that's it. You know what? The best way you guys can pay me back, actually, is simply watch the commercials when you watch a video for 30 seconds. That will actually get YouTube to pay me for all my work that I share with you guys. And if you even want to, click through and then you can go back to the video. But that's how I will actually get paid for my work, through YouTube. All right, so we looked at SPY, Qs, IWM, Apple, Microsoft. We checked it out over there too. We looked at Tesla, Amazon. We didn't look at Amazon. Let's look at Amazon here. All right, and here, Amazon the past couple of days. Where's our big volume? Right in the middle, right here. So 32, let's say 32.25. If we go below there, be careful, right? Potentially, but obviously we're above it right now. So let's pull this back even further to the peak up here. And it's still roughly right there, 32.25. So we're above that. We did have some volume before earnings. Earnings was right around here, and then it dropped down. So I know that there was dark pool activity on Amazon because I was tracking it, and we are above that right now. It does look like a kind of a wonky upside down head and shoulders. If we go shoulder here, head and shoulder, and then if we use this trend line as the neck shoulder, then it could move to the upside. All right. Let's head back over here. All right, so potential longs. I had tile as one of the longer term swings. Why won't it let me adjust stuff? I don't know what happened with this, but it's all okay. All right, let's start off with Crone. Oh, it won't let me draw. That's okay. 820 for the upper bound, and I would put it down at 720 for support. And for ACB, yes, Arky, I would wait for the good 15 minutes before I would get into anything. Will it let me move it? No, it won't let me move it. I have no idea why I'm in view only. I'll figure it out later, guys. All right, so I would put it up above 12 and I would put support down here at 9.30. So 9.30 for support and $12 to the upside for the breakout. Resi as well. You know what, Samuel? The dark pool prints typically come before the filings. We will see the filings, but they have 3 days to report the Form 4s. So it's not always, you're not always going to see the filing immediately. It could happen 3 days later, whereas the prints happen most of the time the same day. All right, for Resi, I would put 1650, and then up here 1880. And of course, if you guys like my stuff, please hit that like button, subscribe, and turn on those notifications so that I can help more people, and share with your friends, right? If they want to learn, you guys know I help educate as well here. All right, 3250 to the upside for laser. And I would look at support down here, 2940. I said 3240, didn't I? Yeah. And we have glue. So glue up at $9. It would need to break out up there. We had some testing, right? The Wix sold it here, sold it. It was not able to really hold above $8.90, but it's that extra 10 cents that could always be the most expensive. If you guys have read Reminiscence of a Stock Operator, that last little bit could be the most expensive. So keep that on watch. $9 for the breakout here for glue, and I would look for support of $8.40. Oops. There we go. All right, now we'll get into potential shorts. I just say potential longs and potential shorts because that's where the momentum has been going for the day prior, right? So we had crazy than expected volume. A lot of these I'm looking at that also have higher than normal relative volume, right? And this has found a peak, it pulled back. I would look at support of 48.80. And I'd look at a resistance of 50, that round dollar. That's going to be very difficult to break, as well as we've got our 50 simple moving average over here on the 50-minute chart. We also have the 50 on the daily there as well. 50, 50, 50. 3 times the charm. All right. We also have WAB, not ACB. That's weird. It's still showing Aurora over here. I don't know what's going on with this today, but no worries. WAB, I'd look for a break above over here of 62.50 and support of 61. If we break down below 61, we could have a nice move down here, 60.45, fill the gap down to 59.50. There could be continuation to the downside. It is in a downward trend overall, right here, right? If I hit settings, it won't even let me do the settings. Save mode. Just looking to see if I can see why it's just on view mode. I'll figure it out. Twilio as well seems to also be curling over, setting a lower high here and then pulling back, might come back down to test the 200 simple moving average on the daily. So I would put support down here, 289.50. And a resistance, I'd go ahead and put the resistance right here, 297.60. And we have ATVI, Activision. We have 78.15 for support and 79.26. I'd go ahead and put it up here, 79.50 actually. So I'm sorry, what did I say here? 78.15. and 79.50. If it can go up that extra 20 cents, great, right? It's going to have this 425 in the way, which I use a lot as a bear or bull signal. All right, TRP. All right, so pulling down, not a pretty chart over here on the 45 minutes or the daily. Do you guys see the H setup? Hello, right there, pulling down, right? We're hitting 52-week lows, had higher than normal volume. We had volume right here, which is all above us. So for our 45-minute chart, I would put a resistance to be broken to the upside of 39.50. Yeah, it's pretty ugly. And for support, really, there's not really any support over here, right? It's a good thing I already had my chart set up with a 45-minute and a daily. We have a bit of a gap fill here down to 38.25, and then it looks like 37.30. Yeah, hey Kyle, you know what? I already went over glue, but I will check on Honeywell for you. So just check on the recording when it goes up later. But we already did glue. And I would put, well, I'd put 38.50 as our support there. Kyle, you missed it too. I did a shout out on AMD for you. All right. So these are potential longer term swings. We have Walgreens Boots Alliance. And look at this. We have it coming up resistance level. This is not a handle because it went down more than 100%, right? And if this can break above potentially 38.50, we are above that 50 simple moving average. We might see that this will really move to the upside here. So maybe 38.40, 38.50, then we'll really see that this could potentially move to the upside. Oh, thank you, Samuel. All right, Overstock as well. So Overstock was really far pulled back. I actually got in on this one as well, myself. Overstock is many times, it won't let me delete pictures. Interesting. Yeah, well, okay. The Overstock many times trades with Bitcoin. We'll look at Bitcoin as well and some other cannabis. So Bitcoin is definitely peaking, and I'm going to do a cryptocurrency video all about that and why I'm personally investing in Bitcoin rather than any other crypto, and I'll talk about that all in that particular video. But Overstock really does trade many times like Bitcoin. So I'm really surprised to see this pull back so much. It had earnings. It bounced off of earnings. We're hitting, what's that EMA? That's it. We went over it before. Do you remember which one it was? See, I even quiz you guys. Make sure you're learning. So this is coming in at test of resistance. Will it come back down? It might come back down to 65.23 and then surge higher after that. That wouldn't be surprising to me by any stretch of the imagination. No, Arky, the pink dotted one is 425. Yeah, 425. Nope. This green one, we talked about it earlier. 161 EMA. All right, Fibonacci, 161 EMA. So Tile, I mentioned this last week. Do you guys remember? So last week was November 1st, right? I said, hey, I have this on my watch list for potential longer term swing. Well, we went from 620 up. I said, hey, maybe we're going to head on up here. That's okay, Arky. I'm just giving you a hard time. And sure enough, we had a nice move. So 620 up to 720, $1. That's roughly 15% gain over the week. Not so bad, right? Also, Cigna, right? So our CIA Energy, this is Brazilian. Now look at this. It's really, we're in a bit of a downward channel here, or a little bit of a downward wedge, and we've finally broken out. And now what is that green hash line, guys? I just told you. If you don't get it, you weren't listening. So if this runs up above, hey, we could see on the daily that we start coming back up to test 274. Usually I'm not interested in less than $5. However, this chart looks pretty interesting to me. And look at where we were last September, October, what happened? Hey, it surged up in the beginning of the year. So potentially with seasonality for this stock, we might see this right back up. You got it, that's it. Okay, OXFD. All right, Oxford Immunotech. Same scenario. We have a bit of this downward trend, right? And we've finally broken above it. And Arky, this one's for you. This pink dotted line that we haven't broken officially just yet. But what's the pink dotted line, Arky? You know this one. $4.25 right here. And see how they tested it once right here? Well, they tested it again. Crazy high volume. That's why this really interests me. You got it. Yep. So if this comes back down, potentially test here and then surge higher. It had higher than normal volume. They were not able to hold it up above this moving average here, and they tested it over here as well. But we know from when FedEx had this happen, oh, I can't, it's so frustrating that it won't let me type stuff in. We saw that when it happened with FedEx, back here, look at how many times they tested it. And then once they tested it and they were done, where do we go? Well, 159 up to 293, pretty much 50% gains. So that's why that's my real bear and bull. Okay, so we were looking at Oxford. Let's do Afria, and I know that's it. I use them all because algorithms are set up to buy and sell off of them. All right, Honeywell. It's really frustrating me. I don't know why I'm in, what is this? Windows Ink Workspace. Ah, interesting. Can I draw in here? No. Oh, cool. Sorry, just playing around with something new that I didn't even know was on my computer. All right, Honeywell. Maybe that's with an update. Honeywell, we are surging up nicely. This one, let's go and look at this on Trendspider. So I was showing off Trendspider earlier, Kyle, when you weren't here. But let's check out where the volume is. Right? Okay, so the point of control, the highest amount of volume that was traded was right here, roughly at 179.16. We are above everything, right? If we go back over here to our daily 179.16, where was that? Okay, 179.16, roughly right here. So that's an area from the past. So that was likely where a lot of shorts were set up to get out. Or people were set up to say, hey, look, we've broken above this resistance. I'm getting in. You know what, Samuel? I like that. Did you see I posted that on Instagram? I posted about Hog on Instagram with the new bike. In one of my stories, I think. So, Hog, I like it. They're going green. And I also watched something about Hell's Angels. They all have to be Hog owners. I wonder if that's going to be with bikes too, if they're going to allow them with bikes. But hey, look, we're above this nice moving average. If we look back in the past, has it been able to really hold above there? No, it has not. And I wish I could make this full screen right now. For whatever reason, it's not letting me. We only held above it from June 30th until May 9th. June 30th to May 9th, really? Oh, June 30th, July of 2016 until May 9th. So we're having a resurgence right now. Back here on the daily chart, we held above it from the 8th of January 18 until the 29th. So the fact that we're up above it right now after earnings, 27th through the 6th, we might see, I would be weary and give it maybe 2 more weeks. If it could hold above, hey, I think this one's likely going up. Looking at the past and looking at how it's acted, right? Because many times seasonality and how it acts in the past will continue every year on that. All right, guys. Carpe Profit, seize those profits one trade at a time. If there's anybody you would like me to interview on my new and upcoming podcast, please put it in the comments below as well. Or if there's anything you want me to do a particular video on as well, please put it in the comments below and I'll create a video on that, as I'm always looking to help others as well. All right, see you all tomorrow at 12:15 for my live stream. Have an amazing rest of your